Hey people, Intro here, 3v3, Hades Wastes blue team. Someone Else is a Techmarine. Starts off with ranged combat, puts out some good damage, can also support with structures and repair alongside Leonus with a Ravener Alpha, there he is. A tunneling hero, great mobility, powerful offense, and a bit of support begins with a ranged weapon. Rounding off this team, Hate is a weapon with a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control. Red team is Eldar all the way down. We have Venjitron with a Farseer support hero fighting in melee combat, some powerful buffs and control. The Oathway elite scheme here recolored blue. Alongside Gunter the Kaiser as a Warlock, a melee spellcaster that leaps into combat with some powerful disruption and support. It's the same Han elite scheme, also recolored into blue. Special attack. And rounding off the teams, eM7 as a Warp Spider Exarch, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat by default, great for capping, harassing, some powerful control. They are on the east side. Kicking off in the mid though, Gunter the Kaiser with double Guardians into Banshees. Banshees also for Venjitron and eM7. Double Termagants up for Leonus. Doom Bolts from the flank. CSM with some Bolter Fire too. Heretics are going to be in a bit of trouble, and Hate has recognized this and comes to help out. They did get the cap though, and didn't lose that many models. Well done, fellas. Warlock runs away. Banshees going in for a fight against double Termagants and Hormagaunts. A tough fight for them, but they are messing up those Hormagaunts superbly well. Look at that special attack. Special attacks win fights. They're able to wipe those Hormagaunts. Really well judged by Gunter. I would have got those ladies out of there with double Termagants. Makes such a big difference when they don't have their upgrades, eh? These Tyranids. Rangers on the way for Venjitron. Those Guardians got way too close to stuff. Double Heretics here, one of them with grenade launchers for Hate. Someone else with, Tactical Marines. Oh, I thought they had two models there, they're all bunched up. But they're okay-ish. Looking after their power, scouts on capping duty with shotguns, most likely because of the Howling Banshees on this side. Got the decap, did Hate. Trying to stab the Warp Spider, but there's a knockback from the Warlock's leap. Banshees are there too, but they were a bit spread out, so they couldn't charge in there. Grenade Barrage, get some hits. Big retreat from Hate. That leaves two Eldar players in the mid-east position here. So Leonus needs to be careful. They have lost their Hormagaunts to those Banshees, as we saw, and they haven't replaced them. More power going up through the mid. Are these guys going to try and touch it? Looks like they are. With quad Guardians here, one of which has battle equipment for the grenade and the shield. Throwing a shield up here could be handy, actually. There's a tunnel back there, which their ally could maybe use. Yeah, they have a tunnel on their side, look. They're not using it right now. And there's the shield going up, and more battle equipment. And Howling Banshees coming in with aspect of fleetness, so they can jump over stuff, as you see there. Doom Bolts. Good hits on those Guardians. Grenade Barrage goes in. Some good disruption. A Burrow Strike as well. The Ravener Brood needs to flee just afterwards. Down to two models here. Banshees running in. There's the War Shout. Oh, but it weren't close enough to suppress anything, I think. Those CSM did not get suppressed there. More Banshees take their place, though. And these guys able to War Shout the Sorcerer into suppression and maybe finish them off. These ladies with aspect and strength soaking up damage, as they often have to for Eldar early on. You just kind of throw your Banshees in, let them take some aggro and see what you can do. Channeling runes are in for Gunter the Kaiser, which can be a massive, massive deal. Once they realize that they have channeling runes, they might want to save the Burrow Strike or the Grenade Barrage to knock back the Warlock and stop those channeling. Stop that channeling, I should say. Here's the Rangers of Venjitron. Farseer just left to her own devices. Are you not going to help her bash the power, fellas? Nope. And they're not bashing this power too. They are wary of pushing forward on that side, it seems, Venjitron. Double a Ravener Brood now for Leonus. Double Termagants, double Raveners. They're setting themselves up for Synapse Aura and ranged synapse in tier 2 then. Warp Spider Exarch with heavy gauge Death Spinner. Looks like Crack Shot is up on them too. A global ability of the Warp Spider Exarch, giving him more range and more damage, and improved target is on too. They're now being suppressed though. Crack Shot still going. I think it's like 20 seconds, that thing. It's quite nice. Can the Banshees approach? Approach play very important for Banshees, especially if you don't want them just taking the brunt of the damage as they're running. If you want them to be killy, you've got to try and get them in from an angle. There's channeling runes. If you want them to just soak damage for you, just throw them in like this. They wash out and run. They soaked up a lot of damage there. More Banshees in with a wash out. There's a Burrow Strike. There's another Burrow Strike. A bunch of stuff runs. Yeah, it seems like this setup is struggling to approach for the Eldar. I was going to say maybe some more Rangers to disrupt things as the Banshees get in. It's a good way to deliver your Banshees. Set it up with a kinetic pulse. Maybe. I mean, Warp Throw in tier 2 is another great way to deliver them. Warp Spider could teleport in and tie things up as well in melee. Mastercrafted Bolter for SomeoneElse. Not this guy, SomeoneElse. Grenade hits him. I think attacks are going to be okay. Yeah, no more shots on them. There's Kinetic Pulse. And Venjitron is going to retake the Western VP, I think. Farseer has taken that power. She took a while, but she got it done. And now it's being noded for the red team. Are you guys going to cap? Guys? Oh, Farseer is going to cap, and these fellas are going to shoot the power, maybe? No, they're backing off again. Venjitron really doesn't want to try and hit the power, which is strange because SomeoneElse doesn't have Assault Marines or anything. So you'd think they'd be able to easily back off if there's some trouble. They should be a bit more aggressive over there. They are hanging back. Meanwhile, east side, Doombolts misses. Now double Banshees getting in. You see how different it is when you're coming from a little angle? I mean, it was 2v1 against Hate as well. Where's Leonus then? They're just coming out of base now using tunnels. This is the natural victory point for the blue team. Natural for the red team up in the northeast there. They are reasonably close to each other. So stacking forces on this side late game can be really beneficial. Typically you'd see a bunch of forces stacked on the contested victory point. But on this map it can go a bit different. Down goes that energy shield. These guys are trying to just defend the VP. Meanwhile, in the mid, they're trying to poke the power, and oh, they almost got that gen down. Almost. Got some flame attacks here for SomeoneElse, so they might try to get through for a power bash. I mean, players are always trying to get through for a power bash, but with that flamer up, they might be more aggressive about it. Warlock with the Witchblade of Kurnus now in tier 2. Powerful melee weapon with power melee damage and the ethereal slash for some disruption in there too. Banshees have found Ravener Alpha. Scare him off. No war gear for this guy yet. Don't see anything queued up. 317 to 470 on the VPs. 2-1 for red. And that's a Razorback, is it? Yes, it is. That's SomeoneElse's Razorback. Eldar being very static here for Venjitron. But I mean, they've held the midpoints. Not overextended at all means they've never had to retreat off the field trying to bash the power. But typically you do want to bash that power. Grenades. Some friendly fire there, lads. But they're okay. Looks like the Singing Spear is in there for the Farseer. It gives her a heavy melee weapon. And of course she can throw Guide on herself to buff her own damage. Power Bash is maybe going to be completed because these are Fire Dragons and the Exarch is using the Flamer. And they get it done. Not sure if they can decap it though. Burrow striking Tyranids. Big firepower here from Leonus, and there is the Synapse Aura. And there is Range Synapse as well. That's a huge amount of damage output they have, but they're still able to get them off the field. Blastmaster setting up. I think they should have kept them with the Sonic Blaster. Sonic Blaster is amazing against Eldar. In these pitched battles that you get in a 3v3 especially. Boom bolts on the Banshees. They seem to be protected by this light cover reeds over here. Look at this. Someone else being very crafty. Using a Razorback to get on that central power. They already bashed this one, it looked like. Yes, they did. It's been reloaded. Techmarine goes down. Should get revived from there, though. Not the end of the world. I mean, they did feed some XP to these Eldar, I suppose. Full bash there, too. Well played, someone else. Oh, did they lose tax, though? I think they lost some tactical marines. Where the heck are they? There's one dead tack there. They did have double tax, right? I'm pretty sure they had double tax. I could be wrong. I could be mad. I'm pretty sure they had it. Someone else? I think maybe they're just waiting for tier 3 now. Razorback into tier 3, which would have been much more solid if they still had the double tax around. I can't see any other bodies. Unless I'm blind. They do kind of blend in with the desert. There's one there. But yeah, I don't see a spot where they all might have died. 207 to 470, 2-1 for the Eldar team. They are keeping the pressure up, and that can be so important for Eldar. They're so good at hitting you, but are they good at sustaining those hits and staying on you and keeping up pressure like Orcs and Tyranids can do so well? Typically they'll hit you and then take a bunch of damage and have to get out of there. Ouch. Decent grenade. Razorback allows reinforcement of allied infantry, so those Tyranids can actually reinforce off that thing. Autark dropped in for some extra support and tying things up in melee. Needs to be careful though. Look at the damage she takes there from those Tyranids. Shooty Tyranids can be really scary, especially if the Ravener Alpha gets the Corrosive Devourer, which they don't have yet. That weapon alone is scary. You combine it with all the other units. 136, 470, single cap for Eldar. Big VP lead now. There's tier 3 for eM7, tier 3 for someone else. Hate with a Dreadnought on the way. They could get a Mark of Khorne Dreadnought and really threaten these Howling Banshees. Crippling Poison shuts them down there. Crack shot up on the Warp Spider Exarch. We may see that thrown on some of those allied Fire Dragons too at some point. Flame attacks. Did they bash power again? Looks like they bashed power again. I'm not sure of how many gens were there. Some tunnels on the western edge too. And the whole of the blue team can use those. Razorback being used quite well so far by someone else. And they can drop Terminators the moment they hit tier 3. I mean, it's always risky because of time field and stuff could come out. But every faction has something they can mess up Terminators with. And it's probably better to get that than a Land Raider, right? With triple Eldar that can Eldritch Storm your ass. Fire Prism on the way for eM7. Here's the Terminators from someone else, or is it a Venerable Dreadnought? Nope, it's Terminators. Storm Bolters and Power Fist by default. I think they do around 40 piercing DPS per Storm Bolter, which is quite a lot. And it will rip through this light infantry Eldar quite well. And of course they have that inspiration on kill. And there's that Mark of Khorne Dreadnought. Melee beast that can Blood Rage, which I'm sure we'll see at some point. What's this? Banshees trying to steal the power on the western edge, maybe. Those Banshees have to run. That is so much firepower from the Tyranids, but they are losing models in there. That was a Synapse Bomb, and there's grenades. Should have spread them out a bit, I think. I think they just chose the same location for them to make it a bit quicker. Warp Spider Exarch falls to the Farseer and the Warp Spider down there. Can Sir Gunter get a bunch of revives going? Maybe. Tier 3 for Sir Gunter. Hate and Venjitron, the last players in Tier 2, and Venjitron's getting some more Fire Dragons, so they have no intention of going Tier 2 quite yet. Here's the Fire Prism. Long-range fire support for Eldar. Can also disrupt with its dispersed shot, which can help stop caps and things, and just generally mess with your opponents. Look at the west side now, completely blue. More heretics for Hate to help repair the Dreadnought, I guess. I mean, they already have some. Warlock with her Force Shield. There's a Blood Raging Dreadnought now, dealing more damage with more speed and durability, but you lose control of it. It's gone straight for the Warlock. Look at the damage on those hits, though. Now they have control back, and the Sorcerer, of course, can walk this guy around. There's Chains of Torment now for the Sorcerer. Great tool to have against a bunch of Eldar infantry. Infantry in general, especially if it's melee and trying to get close to you. But shutting down the movement of infantry is always very, very useful. Fire Prism's okay for now. Venom Brood trying to get after it with those Venom Cannons. There's some shots going in now. Look at the damage. Ethereal Slash wasn't quite close enough to get a full hit there. But yeah, the Warlock with that Witchblade of Kurnus will be a very good way to get on those Warrior Venom Brood. And there's the Warp throw in for huge disruption. And here's SomeoneElse still pressuring the west side. They have capped it back, but looks like it's going to get decapped again, maybe. Where are the Tactical Marines? Oh, they're inside the Razorback. There they are. Techmarine repairing a bit. Fire Prism says no. Don't repair, please. There's Tier 3 for Hate. So Venjitron is the one still in Tier 2 now. What is this? That is Revived Heroes. Did Sir Gunter revive them? I think oh, Venjitron's fallen over. I think Venjitron maybe rebought and then revived eM7 maybe. So I didn't see Sir Gunter go over there. Maybe they did though. Maybe they did. 84 to 380 on the VPs. 2-1 now for the blue team. There's a grenade. Terminators standing their ground against the Banshees, and they are wiped out. Double Fire Dragons also flee. The Burrow Strike was coming in. Blue team starting to look incredibly dangerous now. You've got this ranged Tyranid blob supported by a Razorback, and those Terminators are getting that inspiration on kill. Fire Prism is still around though. Chaos Predator and a Predator tank on the way, and there is a Neurothrope coming for Leonus. Does the Autarch have a weapon yet? Nope. Well, she has a default weapon, I mean. Which I think is a power weapon. Sneaky Scout's going to decap. With a Sergeant and all that. Has the Dreadnought leveled up yet? Not quite. Sneaky Banshee trying to get a decap. Well, not sneaky. Fast Banshees, I guess. So they were unable to do so. What is Heretics doing? Oh, I thought they were going to try and melee them on retreat there. Blue side is swarmed. Sorry, west side is swarmed by blue team, I should say. There's a zone probe in there. Got heavy gauged a bit. Not sure what the zone probe is doing now. There we go. Got a bit confused. Now throws up the shield and backs off. Fire Prism doing some work. And that is an Eldritch Storm. And that is a really good hit of the Eldritch Storm. Leonus, I think, was looking at their opponents rather than their own army there and did not see the marker for it. How much did they actually lose though? Maybe they lost some Termagants. They could just get more Raveners up, I suppose. Banshees there white. Now only Sir Gunter has Banshees. Two of those Eldar heroes down as well. There's a Neurothrope who flees. Tactical Marines have a Sergeant and they flee. There's a Paroxysm from the Neurothrope before it fled. No upgraded weapon for the Terminators, by the way. They don't need it. Sometimes people purchase upgrades too quickly for their Terminators because those default Storm Bolters are really good. Oh, down goes a tank. Couple of fire dragons got on it. Well done, Venjitron. And they are taking the west side back. 84 to 249. Now taking out some capillary towers. Meanwhile, through the mid, Dreadnought's having a grand old time. Hits level 2. Doesn't want to fight anymore. Yeah, worried about stuff coming after. We have a Wraith Lord up for Venjitron. Who needs tier 3, I guess? With a shoulder-mounted right lance. Seems to be idle at the moment, though. Down goes the Dreadnought. That didn't take long. Fire dragons showing up. Took it out quick time. Marco Zinch's tank needs to be careful now. Does he really want to trade blows with the fire dragons? Doom Bolts was pretty good there. Uh-oh. Marco Zinch CSM. Can they make it out? They can. Doesn't want to lose those fellas. They're level 2 and they're fully upgraded. Well, they don't have the aspiring champion anymore. Wraith Lord coming through, maybe, to get some shots. Not sure what this fire prism is doing. But down it goes. So Gunter the Kaiser was also confused by that, I think. Sometimes vehicles in Dawn of War 2 just do what the hell they want. If you're wondering why sometimes vehicles seem to do strange things or players seem to move them strangely, it's because like pathing and whether they reverse and stuff, it's not always easy to figure out exactly how they're going to react to your commands. It would be amazing if we had a reverse button, but we don't. I don't know if that's something that could be implemented via modding. Maybe quite difficult to do. Here's another Chaos Predator for hate. Why would you get another one? They've got 3 fire dragons and the Wraith Lord, and they can Eldritch Storm you. And the Farseer has a singing spear, I think. They want one. They're getting it. There's a Cataclysm from the Neurothrope. That explosion there you saw. Eldar pushing pretty hard now. Have they got the measure of this ranged Tyranid blob now? With the Fire Prism support and the Wraith Lord there. Chains of Torments. They're going to try and destroy that central mass. You see they're all targeting it there to get the chains to disappear. There we go. Seer Council on the field. Paroxysm there's there though. Ripper's getting in there. Whose Seer Council is that? eM7? Yeah, eM7 Seer Council. Powerful melee squad that have a defensive aura that they project to allies and themselves. Level 4 Sorcerer with the Robes of Torment, as we've seen. 84 to 98. It's pretty damn close, fellas. What's this? Power bashing fire dragons. Well, power stealing fire dragons, looks like. Blue team have taken Western VP, though. And can they get a decap here on the natural? There's heavy gauge on the Ravener Alpha, who now does have the Corrosive Devourer. Incredibly awesome ranged weapon. Spider Exarch runs away, so does the Ravener Alpha. That was a well-timed Cataclysm there. I think those guys were trying to get close for a grenade, maybe. 2 to 1 for blue. Not sure if they can get a decap here, though. Destructor from the Warlock. Very nice hit, and there's a warp throw. Gonna chuck them into an Ethereal Slash. Tries to get a bit closer for it. Oh, but maybe they didn't have energy to use it. It might be 60 energy to throw this out. Needs more levels. Runs away. There's Spirit Leech on the Warlock there, which drains its energy and gives it to the Neurothrope. Since the Neurothrope does not naturally generate energy, needs to use abilities to get it. Chaos Sorcerer goes down. Right Lance not really effective against a Neurothrope. More for large targets and vehicles. We need VPs, says Venjitron. Yes, sure do. Venjitron down to 3 units, so is Gunter. 84-47. So the council flowing through the east side now. Supported by an Autarch who has her own aura. Although she doesn't benefit from her own one, I think. Maybe they should let her. Let her get her own aura benefits. Why not? It's trouble staying alive as it is. See a council now on the Neurothrope, and there's Absorb Life. which is another way for this thing to get energy back. It like turns the health of enemies into its energy, but it died right then. Not sure why Leonus thought they could tank the Seer Council with Absorb Life. That Neurothrope lasted seconds. 84 to 32. 1-to-1 cap. Venjitron now over on the east side. Something trying to cap here. What is it? It's the Farseer. But there's a bunch of bolt guns. There's 2 Terminators now from SomeoneElse here with the 6 Storm Bolters and some Stern Guard veterans using their Hellfire rounds there. Warlock runs away. Now has Providence. 75-32. Dark Flames thrown in by Hate, who has some Chaos Terminators now. Those guys demoralize on kill, the opposite of the inspiration of the Loyalist Terminators. Eldritch Storm. It's decent. I'm not sure how killy it was, but it made a bunch of stuff retreat, which could lead to a vital recap. But the Raven Alpha's getting it back. I don't know if they have enough to push through here, the Eldar, even after the storm. See a council go in, leaping into their own grenade, but they're okay with it. And now they're on the Chaos Terminators, and they will rip them apart. These guys don't have their claws. Seer Council just absolutely destroys them. There's Walk from the Sorcerer to save those guys. Only had a few seconds of life left. Seer Council just ripping stuff up. Almost level 3. Predator tank. Seer Council. You're going to try and finish it off? No. You don't need to. A Fire Prism got it, I think. Warlock runs away. Seer Council in amongst the Stern Guard now. Look at the difference it makes when you have some Seer Council around. They can soak up damage reasonably well. Got 500 hit points per model at level 1. Now they have 3,300 hit points total. And they have that 15% range damage resistance aura. They're really, really good. Disrupting things, soaking up damage, dealing very good damage as well themselves. Terminators are trying to finish them off here because I talked them up a bit. They got away. Hey. The Curse of Indrid did not strike. Now they just fall dead at base for mysterious reasons, have a heart attack. Venjitron has some Seer Council now. Double Zone Thropes for Leonus. That could be handy for getting those Fire Prisms down, because that'll be a double focus Warp Blast maybe. 2-1 for Eldar team. 49-32. What is SomeoneElse's next purchase going to be? Is it worth getting a las cannon on this side because of the Fire Prisms? I think it's worth just getting some more tactical marines, you know. Get some more tacs. Give them plasma guns, because fire dragons are heavy infantry. Or give them a plasma gun, I should say. That is a melter gun there for the Techmarine. I hear an Eldritch over there. Tyranids are getting too close. I think they were trying to go after the Fire Prisms, maybe. Oh, look. They almost got this one down. Well played. Hate is a weapon. Gets the natural VP of the red team, and the Techmarines getting their own natural back. The Terminators now have an autocannon, which doesn't really help them against the Seer Council if they're in melee. But there's double Terminators there and Scouts. Although they didn't use their shotgun blast, did they? Red team decap the natural. So it's a 1-to-1. Fire Prism goes down. They got a Marco Zinch again to fight the enemy Fire Prisms. It's done well. It's almost level 2. I questioned the purchase of another tank, but it's done well. Warlock trying to kill those Terminators. Might be able to do it, depending on which ones they hit. There's no indication of the health of the individual models, unfortunately. Comes Venjitron. Was that a Spirit Stone's heal? It was. The Spiritual Rites. The Council flee. I thought they'd stay in play a bit longer there. There's a lot of stuff shooting at them, that's for sure. Down to 3 VPs, the blue team. I didn't even notice that. Can they get their natural back and start getting a 2v double cap even? Because someone else is on this. And they have a decent army here, including the Sword Cannon Terminators ripping through that Seer Council. Can they finish them? Sternguard trying to do it with the damage over time Hellfire rounds, and they get it done. Double cap now for blue, maybe a triple. They might have this. They might have got up these caps at exactly the right time. I think they have. GG indeed. There's a triple right at the end, but they would have got it with a double as well. Awesome stuff. Incredibly close, frantic game. A level 6 Techmarine. Big play at the end by someone else. They got their natural back, and they pushed up this side with their Terminators and stuff, and got it done. Leonus with a level 8 Ravener Alpha. Hate is a weapon, level 5 Chaos Sorcerer there. Venjitron's Farseer level 2. The Warlock hit level 7. Are you dead? They seem to have 0 hit points, but they're standing up. Eldar hacks and a level 7 Warp Spider Exarch. There you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this game. It's pretty damn awesome, I think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.